G'day mates, and welcome back to Aldrin's Space Program Manager. Now today we are back and I've been doing some thinking off screen and I have decided, I've already fired up the mission because it took me a few seconds, but I've decided to go for the spacewalk duration. That's going to give us, I thought there was an easy way to view that. I thought I had this all planned out nicely. So spacewalk duration duration level 1. Now there's a -5% to every single check we're going to go through, which is challenging, but this orbital flight one has just been giving me nightmares. It's failed repeatedly. We lose 3.8 thousand experience every single time, prestige every single time it fails. We're only going to gain about 6,000 total, which is not really going to be enough to make a huge difference. Now, and looking at this one here, it's going to lose us roughly 4,000 again, which is almost the same as the other one, but it offers us a much bigger opportunity. So I'm willing to take this mission out and give it a go. Now it does rely on additional parts to work. If we look at, let's see if we can look at this one here. We've got 12 different steps to go through, and we've got a decent amount of reliability for both of them, but it's not spectacular. Now if we have a look at this one here, we've got 15 steps to go through. There's a higher chance, same reliability, but it's a -5% on every single check. And on top of that, we're also going to need, it doesn't say, but we're also going to need to use the, where are we? There we go, the EVA suit is going to need to factor into this as well. And that's a pretty big chance in the middle. But the EVA suit we've worked on is pretty good quality. I'm happy with it. And I think we should be able to work this. So I'm going to give it a go. We're going to take the risk, and if it fails, then, well, we're going to be in the same position we were if the other one failed as well. So let's hope for the best. The suit now is at 80% reliability, which is great. The Agena target vehicle we're not going to be using, but we might use that in the next session or whatever, next budget period. And of course the Vostok, our not so trusty Vostok, still keeping us going. Let's see how we go, guys, and I will see you on the other side. Well, there we go, people. Success in the end. We got there, finally. We finally got there. I don't believe it. After all that, managed to... we got 25,000 prestige, which is 15,000. Man, that's about the exact same as what we were getting before. So our budget effectively hasn't changed. That's a little bit concerning. That's really putting us in tight. So we needed our budget really to increase, because the things we're looking at, the programs we're going to be looking at now, such as these short lunar stays, have massive costs attached to them, as well as actually big costs in launching them. So the fact that we didn't get that means we've got two options. Either we can push through and hope for the best, or we can cut our losses effectively and try to bypass the 1969 finish date, target date, which is fine. I think this game goes until 1974, so I have several more funding periods to go through. And given how difficult this has been, I think I might need to take that up. I'm going to push for it anyway. I'm going to keep milking the Gemini for as much as I can get out of it, but I think we're going to struggle. think we're going to struggle getting through here. So give me a few seconds. I have to take a quick edit because I need to check the time. Oh yeah, loads of time. Still early in the mission. Let me think about this. What are we going to do with the same amount of money? I think what we're best set to do is to just try and push for more missions. Now we can do a whole lot more given, like we do extended duration level 2, we could do multiple docking and duration things. I'm going to hire additional staff. We need more astronauts. You are good. Rogelio Mines or Mines? Who do I want? I do like the look of you. You're relatively cheap in the grand scheme of things. You train well. Yeah, I think I'll take you. That's all we can get. We've got 6 out of 7. So if I hire that, we're now up to 7 out of 7. The existing people we've got. It's going to be a struggle. It's going to be a real struggle. I think our best option is to just keep launching, but I also need to start looking at, are there any more Earth ones I want to do? Are there any 2? Yeah. Circumlunar Gemini test flights in Earth orbit. Yeah, I'm going to need some much bigger rockets is the downside. Doing these other ones. I could work on the Soyuz using my currently existing rockets. So let's have a look. If I want to do, let's just say I want to do the Gemini direct descent. Say I choose to do this. What do we need? We need uncrewed Gemini test flight, orbital test flight. Okay. How do I get one of those? Circumlunar flight requires a flyby. Lunar flyby. Direct descent requires the spacecraft manned lunar orbital flight. So I need to work on Gemini and getting that in orbit. How do I do that? Lunar orbital flight? No, that's different. Gemini spacecraft. So I'll have to weed through our currently existing one. Accomplished by Circumlunar Gemini. Yeah, okay, so that's the Earth one. There's a couple of Earth-based ones that are Circumlunar Gemini. Okay, and then that's fine. Circumlunar flight. This one here, I think, gives it to me. No, I just want to have a look at it. How do I get... God, it's tough getting information out of this. No, it's not what I want. Circumlunar flight, which... Maybe in here? Does it tell me what I'm getting out of it? What? No, it's too difficult to get the information I need. So, lunar orbital Gemini direct descent, lunar orbital flights. Okay, so yeah, one of these back here will give me things I need, but I need a manned flyby for that. And that requires an uncrewed flyby, which comes from somewhere else. So, test flights in Earth orbit. Heat shield test. Gemini direct descent. Okay, there's a few different things I can get this from. And it's going to have to be the one in Earth orbit. And then all these other ones simply require direct descent, uncrewed direct descent. Lunar orbital flights. Project Apollo will actually give me that, but so a few things will give me multiple versions of this, and that one there can be had by direct descent. So everything in here to do this lunar landing can come from this direct descent tree. The only thing I'm missing is this one here, which comes from direct descent test flights in Earth orbit. And there's a crewed and an uncrewed version that will both give me that, as long as I do the heat shield test. So let's think about that. I need to do... let's go back again. I need to do this one here, and it needs to be a 2-person ballistic one, and it's one of these two. Now, I don't know the difference between them. I do wish... Ah, there we go. Mission goals that can be had. Uncrewed orbital test, suborbital test flight, I've already had those. Propulsion test. Okay. Let's have a quick look in here. I can do that one immediately, and I can't... Ah, that's how I figure it. That's what it'll give me. I must have missed that button before. So this one requires a propulsion test, and that can be done from here. Yeah, it gives me the propulsion test. This one will also give me... See if I can find it. Somewhat puzzling. Heat shield test at near lunar velocity. Okay, so what is the difference between this program? Does it tell me how much prestige I'm going to get from it? Doesn't. I'm sure it tells me somewhere. Nope, I've already been in there. I think actually it was just telling me there. It's so complicated. Prestige points granted 4,900. Prestige points granted 3,400. Whereas doing this one, maybe I gotta do both of them. Gemini direct ascent test. Gemini heat shield test at near... Yeah, I need that one. That's good. And I'm getting 5,700 prestige and 2,000... I think I might have to do both of them. I'm just going to try and figure this stuff out. So it's Gemini direct ascent. Now if I go back here, it's probably boring for some of you guys to watch, but it's important to figure this stuff out because I don't have the budget to dick around with at the moment. I require... It's going to give me the things I need. I require the Gemini direct ascent version of it. Okay. But this one down here also requires... Okay, it requires something, but it can be gained in here. That's fine. Okay, so I need to do the direct ascent version back on Earth. If I can get back there eventually. I need to do the direct ascent version here. That one, I assume, is just for something else, for another path, perhaps. It could just be hypothetical missions that never actually happened. So, that's the one I need to start working on. Now, it's 2,000... where is it? 2,700 or something maintenance cost. It's pretty high, but I think I need to start opening this program and working on it early. Yeah, 2,700. It's going to cost me 11 grand to open, which is a little expensive. And I'm going to require a much larger rocket. N1 boost. Oh no, I have to upgrade. Okay. Fuck this shit. Okay, direct ascent. Let's have a look here. I require a rocket that can lift 46,000 kilograms. 46,033. So let's have a look at our rockets now. 46,000. You can do it quite easily. You cannot do it. So the N1 won't work for the Translunar. And the Proton K is definitely not going to work. So I need the UR700. Or I can use the Saturn V. Now I've been using Russian boosters so far, and I'm doing a... so is there a benefit to using this? It's 1,400 to run this program. 800 to run that program, it's useless to me. 1,300, but it's no good. 1,400 again. 21% is the current reliability factor. 51% on that. It's 100% difficulty factor versus 100% difficulty factor. Okay. 8-9 versus 8-9. They seem to be identical in every fashion, except that I can't actually lift it with that. I just need more money. I think I've got no choice no matter. The thing is, I've failed. I'm not going to get those failures in the previous thing. I had a number of failures, set me back so far that I'm just not going to get sufficient prestige or budget in this case to get by 1969. So I can play around and it'll drive my budget through the floor, and I'm not going to be able to do it. So I can probably play around with this direct ascent. I probably even shouldn't have opened it if I'm being serious. Having opened that was silly because I don't have the cash for it right now. Let's have a look at the payloads, things I can work on now. It's going to cost me several thousand per turn, but I think I'm better off focusing on a whole bunch of probes and sending my prestige through the roof so that I can get a much better budget in the next funding round. And then I'll start working on the moon stuff. Because this stuff is... yeah, there's a lot of R&D to be done here, so I can get this stuff going, but if I get prestige first, then I'll be off in a better position. I'm doing a bit of a quick sort of Cliff Notes version here. I really do need to sit down and look at this stuff, and it's going to take me a pretty bit of time here, and I'm not going to record all that because it will not be as interesting for you guys as I like to think it is. So what I'm likely going to have to do is do a couple of Mars and or Venus probes to get my prestige up high enough for next session, where I require 87,000. I don't know if there's going to be very many probes that are going to give me enough either. I might have to either do a whole bunch of probes at once and just get as much of a budget as I possibly can to try and afford it, or yeah, I'm not going to get to 87,000, but if I can get to about 50,000, I think that should be enough, give me enough budget to then jump onto the direct ascent stuff and really get that thing ticking over and going. So, are there any other lunar probes that'll give me much prestige here? I can do the orbiter program. Does it tell me how much it gives me? It's 4,000 there. So there's a few different options I've got available. I might have to do just a whole bunch of space probes and just gradually test it up. And I think there's a couple more Gemini things I can do. But I'm not sure how to do this. So I'm going to have to sit down, really try and figure this stuff out. And unfortunately, that's going to happen in the next episode because I need some time to really plan this out. And this is going to be a bit of a shorter episode, but you guys will hopefully make do. And I'll see you guys next time once I've figured it out and I've got a plan on how to proceed on Buzz Aldrin Space Program Manager, Buzzhard difficulty. Take care, guys, and I'll see you next time.